afternoon, everybody. I'm delighted to be here. Such an honour to be in America, and secondly to be in a room full of people who I never in my lifetime imagined that I would ever meet, let alone be celebrating with here today. So I'm just completely humbled and honoured to be in your company and to be here. I suppose a huge thank you to Open Water Source as well for actually picking up what I did. I suppose I'm not the conventional swimmer. I was brought up by the sea in the northwest of Ireland in Donegal, a very small seaside resort. We didn't have any swimming pools or swimming clubs or anything like that at the time when I was young, and I learned my swimming from my father initially, who taught me, and then I went on to join our local sub-aqua club on a Sunday morning. I was the child hanging around the pier, and they used to pick me up in a half-decker fishing boat and take me out, and when they were diving I'd swim around the boat out in the ocean with them. And I suppose that's, you know, I always had the passion for the sea, and my ancestors were all from the islands off the Donegal coast as well, so I'd like to think that passion was always there, that it's in my blood. I suppose, like a lot of teenagers, and that I never swam competitively. I don't think I have a medal for swimming ever in my life, but I went on then, and I suppose went on to college and studied and stuff, and the swimming was put on the back burner for years and years. And I suppose when I was in my 30s, I realised I didn't have a very good work-life balance, and you know, there was a lot of other things had taken over, and I had an opportunity to do a charity swim for our local hospice, and it was a 2-mile swim, and I said, right, I really need to get a bit of balance back in my life and a little bit of focus back in my life. And I suppose, cutting a long story short, did the 2 miles. We raised a lot of money for our local charity, and I went on from there. I was asked to join a group of 6 people who were going to swim around the island of Ireland. So my brother was one of that team, and my friend Annemarie, who's here from Kerry today, and the 6 of us spent 56 days swimming 1,333 kilometres around the entire coastline of Ireland, and that was in the summer of 2006. From there, I thought, dare I dream my childhood dream of swimming the English Channel, and again, you know, I didn't have coaches and all of that. What I had is a magnificent group of friends who were scuba divers, and we didn't have training plans or anything. What we did is, my great friend Noel is here today, who is a scuba diver, and Noel would take me out into the middle of the ocean and drop me off the boat and say swim, and I'd swim in a couple hours, still swim, and we hadn't a clue if we were doing the right thing or not, but we just did it, and I suppose learned afterwards that I think a lot of you people in coaching call it total confusion training, and I suppose that's what we were doing, and we didn't realise it at the time. So I went on in 2007 and swam the English Channel, and then I thought in 2000, the next goal after that, the North Channel, was always, I suppose, away at the back of my head, because I had heard many stories as a child. It was the immigrant route that my grandparents took when they moved to Scotland, and I had heard many stories of the Derry boat and the crossing that they took, and I thought, dare I dream this impossible dream, a channel that only 11 people have succeeded in swimming since 1924, when the great Mercedes Glitz made the first attempt. She wasn't successful in her attempt, and the next attempt was in the 1940s, when the great Florence Chadwick, who I've heard her name mentioned today, I think it was late 40s, maybe 50, that she had 2 attempts at it, but again was unsuccessful. And it was 1947 when Tom Blower, fantastic English swimmer at the time, he was successful on his 2nd attempt in making it, and unfortunately he died sometime later at 41. Many had attributed his dying to the efforts that he had put into crossing channels, and namely the North Channel. There was many stories after that, great history in the North Channel, very tragic history. There was a great Greek army major, Jason Zaragoza, who died swim in the North Channel, where his physician at the time took a penknife and opened him up and did open cardiac massage, and unfortunately he died there. There was many other stories. The fabulous Alison Streeter, who is the Queen of the English Channel. Alison tells the story of how she nearly died on her first attempt, where she was, her mother Frida had pulled her out of the water. She went unconscious 4 miles from the Scottish coastline, and she just she luckily got her in time, but Alison did go on after that to swim it. The fabulous Kevin Murphy, the King of the English Channel. Kevin also says, you know, he has great stories about the North Channel, and he said it's definitely the toughest channel that he ever did. Then we have the great Paul Lewis from England as well. He tells the story of he was 100 metres from the coast, where he went unconscious, again with the cold and the jellyfish, and he ended up hospitalised for a couple of weeks with he had a core body temperature of that of a corpse when he was hospitalised at the time. So listening to all of this, I thought, you know, dare I try it? But anyway, we set off our first attempt. I was 17 and a half hours in the water, 12 degrees, and I unfortunately didn't make it. The tides turned. I suppose one of the unique things about the North Channel is the tides run from a southeast northwest flow, so they're not running straight up and down, and when you're in the middle of that channel, it's very difficult when the tide turns to make any progress. So that was the first attempt. I went on, had 2 more attempts after that, and the jellyfish, I suppose it's the home of the lion's mane jellyfish, which are huge stingers, and on that attempt, as I call it, the jellyfish attempt, just they couldn't find a clear patch for me to actually start the swim along the coastline. So anyway, I got in, and 5 hours later, hospitalised with just seizures to all of my joints had seized up and that. But anyway, I know we're under time pressure, so I won't bore you with any more of it. But luckily, in last year, I was the 11th person in history to succeed in swimming the North Channel. Before I finish, I'll just thank all my friends and family who have travelled here today from far and near to be with me, and to all the people that have helped me and supported me along the way, and to Open Water Source. Thank you very much.